Humanitarian crisis is unfolding in Port St. John's in the Eastern Cape. Thousands of people have been evacuated after heavy rains destroyed their homes. The OR Tambo District Municipality has had its hands full this year dealing with flash floods. These have led to the deaths of at least 6 people in Coffee Bay recently. And now 3 people are missing following torrential rainfall in the village in Lusikisiki. Gift of the Givers has volunteered to help those affected by the floods. For more on their relief efforts, we're joined by a Gift of the Givers Ali Sablay. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, Ali. And maybe just let's start with the kind of relief that you are offering to the community that has been affected by those flash floods and the landslides that we've seen ravage that community over the last 2 days or so.
Thank you. I can just give you a quick update. As you mentioned, 3 people are missing. Of those 3 people, SAP divers has recovered 2 of the bodies. A 53-year-old female, a 24-year-old female. There's still a 40-year-old male that's missing. So all credit due to the SAP teams who's working around the clock trying to retrieve those bodies, and the latest is 2 of those bodies have been retrieved. As you mentioned, it's a dire situation on the ground. Just 2 months ago, our teams were scattered all over the Eastern Cape, in Kumani, in Yandeni, in Port St. John's, in the OR District Municipality region, where floods has caused havoc. And this one was not seen coming. And we received the frantic calls from yesterday afternoon from the district mayor, from disaster risk management, from community members, from business people, telling us, informing us the rains are coming down heavy in the Port St. John's region. Most of the businesses has been completely flooded. I can give you a quick update. 100 in the Port St. John region, 120 people have been left homeless. 12 wards has been affected. 82 gravel roads are inaccessible. That's the roads leading to the rural areas. So we can just imagine if those roads are open and the tragedy that awaits the disaster teams going that side. So the urgent need at the moment is trying to get these people to a place of safety. Early this morning, the Deputy Minister of Human Settlements was in discussion with myself, saying she is going onto the ground when the roads are accessible, and they have been informed by the municipality if they can urgently make temporary accommodation available, as they see many of the houses being damaged by the mudslide that occurred after the heavy rains came down.
Yeah, and it's quite concerning. You say over 100 people left homeless at the moment because of that disaster, and that emergency efforts are being made to allocate them to temporary housing facilities. With the temporary housing facilities, what other immediate needs are there? One would assume that infrastructure that supplies water and other essential services has been affected, and so these are some of the immediate needs that the people will need as well.
That's correctly said. With the mudslide, the water infrastructure was severely damaged by the mud going in through the system. It was a blockage and not making the water drinkable. Water will be an urgent need. Toiletry bags, hot meals for those being housed in the halls, bulk food for those people whose homes were partially damaged, but the other stuff got washed away, mattresses. Speaking to the mayor this morning, it would be school uniform, stationery as well, like it's school holidays coming up now. And the main thing is, when they will be picking these temporary structures, to see that they can be provided with a food hamper. And there has been a request also, I've just read through the request list, that for in terms of sanitation, water and sanitation in terms of toilets, etc. So we just hope that there's not the weather doesn't play out severe in the next 2 to 3 days, because the relevant authorities from the roads and infrastructure are trying to make the roads accessible to these 82 areas as well, so that we can see the extent of the damage there. But so far, the areas they have reached, 120 people have been brought to safety, but they are completely homeless. These structures has been washed away completely.
Yeah. Ali, what about medical intervention? We are dealing with issues of cholera with one death already in the country. And of course, it is a concern. So medical resources that you will be allocating, not just for the risks of cholera and any other disease, but just for those who may need immediate medical attention. How are you dealing with that in terms of the facilities available to people, but also the resources that will be available to people?
Okay, the Department of Health has been very proactive. There is a clinic available. There is elderly people and people who's on chronic medication, example, high blood, your TB, etc. The clinic is open up to them to provide them with this necessary medication. If the facility can't cope, they will then reach out to the relevant authority to see how we can get involved. But there hasn't been a call for that yet. But there has been a call for Home Affairs. Many people's documents got washed away. There has been a call for SASA in terms of people getting their grants. So though there's more need for those two authorities to come on the ground. But in terms of health, the MSc of Health and the team has been very proactive, and they are taking care to the needs of the people. There hasn't been severe injuries, only slight injuries, and those people have been taken care of already.
And then have you been engaging those who operate in the weather space, Ali? And I'm just asking because there have been further warnings that have been issued, and with the infrastructure damage that we've seen and people unable to leave the damaged areas or where they have been affected by the floods, one would assume that conversations are already starting to happen should further incidents of flash floods happen over the next coming days.
There is, as you correctly said, disaster risk management, those in the Weather Authority and all the stakeholders involved having another meeting this afternoon because there is severe warnings in other parts of the Eastern Cape. As we know, the last flood that occurred, the last rains that occurred 2 months ago, hit areas like Coffee Bay, Kumani, where still over close to 1,000 people are being housed in the wall. It hit the Umtata region, the Inyandeni region. So with the relevant weather people are having a meeting with the disaster risk management and the stakeholders to see which areas they foresee being going to be hit the hardest with the next rainfall, and to see if any evacuation or if any steps can be put in place to assist those people. Just yesterday, our teams were busy in the BCM region, in the area called Duncan Village, where they went with the BCM mayor to go inspect the damages that has occurred that side. The weather patterns are changing all around the country. Our teams are busy doing assessments in Knysna as well, where heavy rains and gale force hit that town last night.
And then just a final for you, Ali, for those who want to give the little that they do have in terms of a donation to any resource that you've mentioned that is absolutely needed at this stage, where exactly can they make their contributions?
They're most welcome to go on our social media pages on our website. All the banking details and all the aid we'll be delivering to these areas. We have a toll-free number as well, 0800 786 911. They can make contact with those numbers, but if they want to make a contribution immediate, all that details are on our social media pages and on our website.
Thank you very much, Ali Sablay from A Gift of the Givers. An update on those flash floods, the mudslides that have will rather happen as a subsequent of those floods, and the relief efforts that are being put in place. Thank you very much for your time.